Good morning, students. So, what are we going to learn today? Now, this is our again a session of SST with history. Now, our today's subject is history for class 8th, chapter number 1. And what is our today's chapter? Our today's chapter is how, when, and where. We will divide these chapters into two parts. Okay? To understand the chapter more briefly, more easily, we will divide this chapter into two halves. Two halves means into two parts. Part 1 and part 2. Okay? Note down all the important points which are going to come, starting with the contents. Contents which will tell you what are we going to learn in this chapter. Okay? So, history for class 8th, chapter 1, how, when and where, part 1. Let's have a look on the contents. Now, moving to the contents. First, we will have a short introduction on history in this chapter. A short introduction on history. Okay. Now, as we know the name of the chapter, when, how and where. Okay. By this only we can understand that without knowing the dates, okay, the historical events, when did it happen? So, without knowing the dates, we cannot know anything. So, our first topic will be how important are the dates in history. Okay, we will have a look on that. Now, which date becomes important? Our second topic will be which date becomes important. Any historical event that occurred during a period of time. So that becomes a popular date. Okay? We will have a look on that also. Then we will see the method of periodization. How do we periodize the, you can say, the periods like medieval period, ancient period, modern period. Okay? But in what method? That was done by James Mill. We will have a look on that also. What is colonial? The British rule. When there was a British rule, a British colony. Okay. So, what is colonial? We will have a look on that also. And the sources of history and issues related with it. Fine. So, let's move to the introduction of a history. To know about the introduction of the history, why it is important? It is important so that when you learn chapter wise, when you start learning history chapter wise, you'll come to know that why should we pay attention, or why is first lesson or the first chapter so important? Because each of the chapters are related with each other. Okay? As I will explain you, you will more easily come to know about it. So first, let's have a look on the introduction of history. Now here, chapter 1 for history. Right? Now before moving or before knowing more about the chapter, try to relate this way that what is history? History is the study of past. Okay? Now class wise, you have started learning history, but in each and every class, whatever you have learned something or the other differently. Like in 6th standard, when you learned history, it was our past 1. The volume was our past 1, in which you had learned about the ancient period. Okay? What were the people of ancient period? How did they live? Where did they used to live? How did they used to eat? What they used to eat? Such kind of thing. Then when you moved to class 7th, your history became our past too. Right? In that you had seen about the medieval period. Medieval period means a more period ahead than the ancient period, a bit difference. Right? A bit difference in the period. Now as you have moved to class 8, now total history will become modern period. Modern period means you can relate this period with your period. Okay? So this is the way the history is related with each other. Okay? Now history is the study of past events, and it is much more than memorizing the dates. Means history does not mean every time you cannot take history as only memorizing the dates. When did this incident happen? When was the king crowned? When did Battle of Plassey take place? It is not like that. Okay? It is about the study of the past. What should you know in the history? In the history, you should know how did it happen, when did it happen, and where did it happen. Okay? Everything should be there. History is connected with places also. History is connected with events also, with dates also, and with the names also. Whether it was any of the king or any of the emperor, anybody. Okay, it is related with everything. Now with this, you should also know that every chapter, wherever you have learned history, whether it was class 6th, whether it was class 7th, and now it is class 8. Okay, you must have seen that all the chapters are related with each other. But the first chapter, whenever you learn the first chapter, learn it very carefully. Why? Because this first chapter is being related with all the other chapters. In clear words, if I want to say that if you have understood chapter 1, then the other chapters will be more easy for you to understand. Or you can say as chapter 1 is the introduction of all the chapters. Okay? As you relate a story, like take it as a story, and when you go in the background of that story, this is history is the same thing. So you have to pay attention on first chapter very carefully. So introduction of history, I'll repeat again that history is the study of past, in which you have to pay attention on everything. Everything means events, places, dates, names, everything. Okay? Why? Because history is not only about the dates, but it is also about how did it happen, when did it happen, and where did it happen. Okay? Now let's have a quick look on how important these dates are about which we are talking in this chapter. Okay? So please pay attention on it. Now looking at the first topic of ours, which is our chapter's first topic also. How important are the dates? Okay? Now tell me how important are the dates in your life? We take it every date, like your birth date, your parents' anniversary, your parents' birth date, right? Each and every date is important. Why do you remember that date? Because it is important for you. You want to wish your parents, you want to make them happy. Okay? And same goes with history. In history, it is not only the date that is important. I had told you before also in the introduction. In history, it is not only the date that is important, but that date is related with which event. Okay? The date which is there in the history, it is related with which event. You have to remember that. Whether that date is related with some battle, whether it is related with some, you can say, when the king was born or when he was crowned or such kind of. Okay? So, the dates are important. Okay? How important the dates are? Knowing about the heading. Now moving further. there was a time period, okay, when the historians were fascinated about the dates. Fascinated about the dates means the importance of date was too much for the historians who write the history, okay. They wanted the dates. That was so much important, okay. Then there were heated debates about the dates on which the rulers were crowned, because whenever they wanted to write the history, they wanted to know about when was the king crowned, okay, when was the battle fought. But we all know that history was only about, not only about the dates, okay. History is certainly about some changes, because the dates which were given by the historians were not 100% right, okay. That was only their imagination. So one time period was such a period, there was such a period when the historians were really fascinated about the dates, okay. Now history is certainly about changes that occur over time, that changes time to time, okay. Now it is finding out about how things were in the past and how they are in, and when we compare, you can say, okay, and as soon as we compare the past with the present, we refer to the time. Means history is knowing about before to after, between that, what happened before and till after. We are trying to know about the period between before and after. Dates help us finding out how things were in the past. Means if we are talking about a battle, let's take a date, 1857. 1857 is a popular date in the history because there was a revolution. 1857 revolution cannot be forgotten by anyone, okay. So dates help us in finding out about how things were there in the past and how things have changed over time, okay. Earlier history was an account of battles and big events, because when the history was written in the past earlier, okay, it was only trying to, you can say, pay attention or trying to know more about the battles or about the big events or battles, like what, like the year when the king was crowned, when was a king crowned, when was he made the king, okay, or when was that king married, when did he had a child, when did he fought a battle, when did he win a battle, when did he die, who was the king after him. Such kind of things are being noted in the dates. And so the historians, whenever they wrote about it, the dates were important for them. And this is how important the dates are. The dates are important to know about what happened in the past, whether it was any event. Any event means from the life of the king to the death of the king. Whatever events had been happened, that was supposed to be written in the history. So that's why the dates were so much important. To the people connected to close to the kings, those dates were important. But the concept and study of the dates has changed now. More emphasis is given to why things happened and not only on when they happened. Means here it's trying to say that previously it was, the more attention was being paid on the dates. When did this thing happen? But now, as history has improved a lot, historians had tried to explain more betterly. Now they are not only paying attention on the dates, but now they are also paying attention on giving more information about why did these things happen. Means if a battle has taken place, why did this battle take place? Okay, what happened in this battle? That's why the name of the chapter is how, when and where. Okay, not only knowing about the dates. Dates are important. Okay, dates are important, but not only knowing or memorizing the date is important, but you should also know why did that incident happen. Okay, so this is why the dates were important in that time. Okay, now how the dates are important we have come to know, but which dates became important? Not all the dates or not all the events which occurred have become important in history. Which were these dates? Now here it can also be said that everything has a history. Everything has a history means you can take it as the tea which was invented, it also has a history. It is not like that, that people directly started drinking tea. No, it also has a history that some dry leaves flew and fell into the hot water, and the water color and taste changed. People drank it and they felt it energetic. They felt more energy in them. Okay, and this how tea has a history. Same goes if for the railways, for the trains. You sit in the train, you travel from one place to another, but have you ever tried to know that which was the first train, how was the train invented? So this is also a big event which has a date, right? Same things are there with each and everything which has happened in the history. Okay, and that is why history is important. The date is important in the history. Okay, because the incidents which take place in the history, are linked with date. So here example of tea and coffee, I am just trying to make you explain that each and every event has a history, and so the dates are important in that. Okay. Now after knowing so much about how dates are important, now let's know which dates are important in history. Okay, let's have a look. Now we have seen how the dates are important. Okay, now before moving to the next topic, that which dates are important, try to know about the first topic, how important the dates are. Relate that topic with this. Okay, how important are the dates? We have seen that the dates are important because of the events. The dates are important because of the events. Okay. Now, by what criteria do we choose a set of dates as important? For you, which date is important? I had asked you the question when we had started. For you, your birth date is important. Okay, so here we can say the dates we select and compose a story of the past, okay, are not important, but they become vital because we focus on a particular sets of event as significant. For us, the date is not important, but what is on that date, it is main important. Means for you, why is your birth date important? Because it is your birth date. It is a special day. Okay. So this is how we select the date and we try to know about the past. Okay. Now, we had seen that history is not only about the dates, but it is also related with the events. In that events, we had tried to see that what do people eat, what do people wear. Okay, we had tried to see in that. Now, which dates are important? The dates which have some events. The date which have some events are important. Okay. Now here we can take one example, that in the histories written by British historians in India, the rule of each governor general was important. When there was British rule in India, each and every governor had their own rules. Okay, these histories began with the rule of first Governor General, and first Governor General was Warren Hastings. Okay, and it ended with the last Viceroy. His name was Lord Mountbatten. Okay, now here it's trying to explain us that if we take the history which the historians had written about the British rule, in that they had written the different chapters of the history, like how was the rule of Governor General Warren Hastings, and how did the last Viceroy Lord Mountbatten, how did they rule, when did Warren Hastings become the Governor General. Okay, now these it separate chapters we read. In separate chapters we read about the deeds of others like Hastings, Wellesley's, Bantic, Dalhousie, Canning, Lawrence, Lytton, Ripon. These all were the Governor Generals at that time who ruled over India. Now here why I am taking all the names of these Governor Generals, because it was a never ending succession of the Governor Generals and the Viceroys. Okay, all the dates, the names which I had taken about the Wellesley, Banting, Dalhousie, these were the Viceroys and the Governor Generals of the British rule who ruled over India. Now they all became the Governor Generals or the Viceroys in some or the other year or some or the other day. So that dates were important. Okay, and because of these dates we come to know about their achievements. When did they achieve success, or what kind of achievements were they? If the dates were not there, then we would have never known about the British rule or the Governor Generals or the Viceroys of that time. And why are these dates there? These dates are there so that it is to tell a story in the way that makes some sense and can be followed. As I have given you the example from the starting of the chapter, I had told you that if you have learned history from class 6th, okay, start linking the history with it. The first was the ancient period, second was the medieval period, and in the third part you are learning about the modern period. Okay, so go chronology wise. Chronology wise means series wise in the listing, by number wise you can say. Okay, means if we are talking about the first Governor General Warren Hastings, starting from his date you have to know about the history till the last Viceroy, that was Lord Mountbatten. So the dates are linked with each other. Okay, all histories written by or about British Governor General do not give us a correct picture. Now this is also that this does not give us a correct picture of the status and the everyday activities of ordinary Indians. So the history is actually very different for different people. Okay, means we can only believe on what is been written. So for everyone history is different for different people. And that's why whenever we learn history, okay, we learn history chapter wise, or you can say history is divided into chapters. Why? So that it can give each and every, you can say that it can give some coherence. Now what is coherence? Coherence means to the quality of being logical or consistent. Okay, to gather something, you can say like that. Okay, so here it's telling that why is history been divided into chapters? Just to give each chapter some coherence, okay? And it also makes some sense to be understood. That's why it has been divided into dates. And so the dates are important. Okay? So this is why the dates are important. Okay? Now talking again and again about the periods. We are talking about the periodization. Okay? Now how do we periodize this? As I am talking about that the dates are because of the events starting from this date to this date, as we had talked about the period of time like before to after, between that what had happened, how were the farmers to pay the taxes before and how are they paying the taxes now, have the taxes increased or no. So such kind of things, how can we divide this period, how can we periodize? Let's see. In 1817 there is also one important date, okay? This is also one important date, 1817. In 1817, James Mill. Who was James Mill? James Mill was a Scottish economist and political philosopher. What did he do? He published a 3-volume work. Work means he published a 3-volume book. Okay, and what was the name of that book? The name of that book was The History of British India. Okay, now here we are talking about how do we periodize, how do we distribute this time about which we are talking about the dates. Okay, how, when, dates, when. Okay, so what did James Mill do? James Mill published a 3-volume book and the name of that book was A History of British India. Okay, now he divided this Indian history into 3 parts. He divided this Indian history into 3 parts. Which were they? Hindu, Muslim and British. Okay, now this periodization, when it was done by James Mill, this periodization was widely accepted by everyone. This periodization was widely accepted by everyone. Okay, now can you think of any problem by this way of looking at the Indian history? We have divided, means James Mill divided this Indian history to know more easily in 3 parts. Now do you think that there was any problem in looking in this way, with this way of looking at the Indian history? No, that is no problem. Why? Because due to this we can capture the characteristics of the time. We can capture means here you can say you can know more easily about history when it has been divided into periods. Hindu period, Muslim period and then the British period. So to know history more easily, it should be divided in it is divided into periods. Okay? And due to this periodization, we can see how significance of change from one period to another. Means due to this periodization, we can easily understand the difference between 2 periods. Okay, means if we are first knowing about the Hindu period and then moving towards learning towards the Muslim period, due to this periodization we can easily understand the significance of the changes. Okay, now why did Mill divide this into parts, into 3 parts, the Indian history? Because Mill thought that the Asian societies were at a lower level of civilization than Europe. Now according to his telling of history, before the British came to India, Hindu and Muslims despots ruled the country. Now before British rule, but natural, our country was ruled by the kings and the emperors. They were Muslims and Hindus. Okay, now before the British came into India, there were religious intolerance, or you can say caste system, and many things in our country. Superstitious beliefs were also there. So to know this more easily and to know more about the past history, or you can say about the past, James Mill divided our Indian history into three. That what were the differences before the British rule, how did the Indians used to live, what kind of rules were they, what were their religious belief. So he did all this. Okay, now Mill felt that could civilize, that British rule could civilize India. Civilize India means bring a change in the Indian society. Okay, to do this it was necessary to introduce European manners. Now if the British wanted to settle themselves in our country, they had to first know about the past. They had to know about how were the people in India living. Okay, so they started knowing more about our past, and so he divided this Indian history into three parts. First for the Hindi period, then for the Muslim period, and then after the British rule, what kind of changes were there in the Indian society. Okay, means as per James Mill, it was been said that because of the British, there were all kind of forces of progress and civilization in India. Do we accept that today? Can we say that because of the Europeans, or you can say because of the Britishers or the British rule, there were changes, there have, means our country has come into progress or become more civilized because of the British rule? Do we accept that? No, not at all. Okay, so this is why James Mill divided Indian history into three parts, to know more briefly about the difference between these periods. Okay, and so this is how we divide, or you can say this is how we periodize our Indian history. Now if we move a bit away from James Mill's history, as he divided history into three, like Hindu period, Muslim period and British period. If we talk about the historians, okay, to improve upon this narrow classification, Indian historians, they have divided in history into three parts again. Now which were these three parts? Ancient history, medieval history and modern history. Means what was the life in the ancient history, how did the people used to live, what is the life of the medieval history, the time between the ancient and the modern period is known as medieval history. What was the life, what kind of growths were there in science, democracy, liberty, equality, what kind of differences were there in the ancient period, what kind of differences were there. Okay, after the medieval period, modern history came. Modern history is associated with all the modern forces such as science, liberty, democracy, equality. I am talking about what kind of equality was there in the medieval period and what changes did take place between medieval period and modern history. What differences are there? So these all things we periodize by this way, so that you can know more easily how can you, what happened, how can you, what happened in which period. So that's why we periodize history. Whenever we learn history, we learn period wise. Period wise means first we try to know the ancient period, after that the period which comes after ancient period, so that learning chronologies wise, it easily explains you what happened when. Okay, now can you tell me that do you think that after the British rule, you know that when there was British rule, people did not have any kind of equality, freedom or liberty, because the rules and regulations which were there all were of the Britishers itself. Okay, so nor was the period one of the economic growth and progress. Means when there was British rule in our country, there was no kind of progress in our country, or there was no kind of economic growth also. And many historians has told this period as colonial. Okay, many historians therefore refer this period as colonial period. Now what is colonial? Let's see. In this book you will more see about the British rule. Okay, when did they conquer India? How did they establish their rule? Okay, how did they subjugate the local Nawabs and Rajas? Okay, now what is subjugate? Subjugate means to bring under domination or control. Means when the Britishers try to establish their rule on India, they try to bring the local Nawabs and Rajas under their control. Okay, and you will also see in this chapter, we will further, when the chapter continues with 2, 3, 4 and continues as way, lesson wise you will come to know how did they control over the economic and the society, how did they started collecting revenue, okay, for their expenses. For their expenses means how were they going to earn? So they had thought about all the ways how could they rule India, how could they rule on India. They also bought the goods which were being needed by their own, okay, and that also on a low prices, and the things which they sold on their self, from their self they sold it on a high price. So this is way, this is called colonization. Colonization means the action or process of settling among and establishing control over the indigenous people. Okay, so that is why it has been said, what is colonial? Our topic is what is colonial. Means the British, when they came to India, they started establishing their rule and subjugating. Subjugating means taking under control the local Nawabs and the Rajas. They started collecting the revenue. Why did they collect the revenues? They collected the revenues to meet their expense. How could they earn? What could they eat? So for that also they searched a way. Okay, bought the goods what they wanted at a low price, okay, and made high price by selling them. Means they purchased that from the Indians at a low price and sold that in a high price to all over the world. Okay, now that rule brought about changes in the Indian values. Their rule brought a change in the Indian values, tastes, means the way of eating food also started changing. Okay, the customs changed. Now this process of subjugation of one country by another, that leads to, what did it lead to? It led to political, economic, social and cultural changes. Means when the British started ruling over India, it changed all over. All over means in all the ways. In custom wise also, economic wise, social wise, political wise, all the changes started taking place. So this is what colonial means. Colonial means to take a control over an area where the people are indigenous. Indigenous means you can say then when people are very weak. Okay. When we say the British colonized India, we mean that India was the Britain's colony, or that India was under the British rule. So this is what colonial means. Now this was the first part of this chapter. I hope you must have understood why are the dates important. The dates are important because they are linked with some of the other events. So the events are more important, but if the dates were not there, events we would have not come to know about the if we could have not come to know about the dates. And if the dates were not there, the events would have not become important. Means both are important at their places. We have also seen how do we periodize this. How could we periodize our history? As per James Mill, history was divided into 3 parts. That 3 parts were Hindu period, Muslim period and British rule or British period. Okay, he divided Indian period into these 3 forms as per his imagination. And the Indian historians, they have divided history into 3 parts, and that 3 parts are ancient India, medieval India and modern India. Okay, so by this periodization we can easily understand the difference between these periods. Okay, means each and every period try to explain us about the way of living of that time, way of eating food, way of agriculture, religious beliefs, cultures, everything. Okay, so this is what we have learnt in this part of chapter 1. Okay, now during learning this chapter we have gone through some of the hard words also which are new for us. So let's have the meaning of it. So our next is word meanings, or you can say the vocabulary. I'll repeat one after one and you have to note it down. Start writing. Now moving to the vocabulary. First word is emphasis. 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 What is emphasis? Special importance, value or prominence given to something. What is emphasis? Emphasis means special importance or value, prominence given to something. Okay, next word is concept. 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 What does concept means? Concept means a plan or intention. A plan or intention. Next is vital. Next word is vital. What does vital means? Vital means absolutely necessary or essential. Vital means absolutely necessary or essential. Next is coherence. Coherence means the quality of being logical or consistent. Now what is chronology? Chronology means the arrangement of events or dates in the order of their occurrence. What is chronology? Chronology means the arrangement of events or dates in the order of their occurrence. Okay. Next is subjugated. What is subjugated? Subjugated means during, under domination or control, especially by conquest. Subjugated means bring under domination or control, especially by conquest. Okay. Colonization. Colonization means the action or process of settling among the establishing control over the indigenous people of an area. Colonization, the action or process of settling among and establishing control over the indigenous people of an area. So these are the vocabularies of today. They are, I repeat all the words again: emphasis, concept, vital, coherence, chronology, subjugated and colonization. Okay. Now let's have a look on the small exercise. whatever we have learned in this, as per the question answers, you can answer the questions and you'll easily come to know about what have you learned. Let's see. First question is, what is history? Okay, history is the study of past events, and it is much more than memorizing the dates. Or in the simple, you can say history is the study of past events. History is the study of past events. Okay. Next, what is our next question? Our next question is, dash are fascinated with dates. Now, who are fascinated with dates? The historians. Who are fascinated with dates? Historians. Okay. Next question. Who was James Mill? James Mill was a Scottish economist and political philosopher. Who was James Mill? James Mill was a Scottish economist and political philosopher. Okay. Next question. Dash published a massive 3-volume book, A History of British India. So, who published the 3 massive volume book? That was James Mill. The answer is James Mill. Now, name the 3 parts in which Indian history is divided into. The Indian history is divided into 3 parts. According to James Mill? No. According to the Indian historians. According to the Indian historians, the 3 parts in which the Indian history is divided, it is ancient India, medieval India and modern India. It is ancient India, medieval India and modern India. Okay. Next, James Mill divided Indian history into dash and dash. What is it? Hindu history, Muslim history and British history. Hindu history, Muslim history and modern history. And the last question is, define colonization. In the meaning we have written colonization. You can write it that here. The action or process of settling among and establishing control over the indigenous people of an area. Colonization means the action or process of settling among and establishing control over the indigenous people of an area. Okay. So, these were the question and answers of today's part 1. I hope you have noted everything. Okay. Now, we will soon meet in part 2. For part 2, same thing we will learn about in part 2. Till then, take care of your health. Learn whatever you have written.